Hey, I'm guessing you guys don't miss me yet, but you might have some questions on solving for speed. So I've got this video to go ahead and walk you through it. The equation for speed equals distance divided by time. By the way, if you have not done your 1.2 notes yet, you need to stop and go back and do them before you start looking at your average speed problems. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the equation, what your units for each of these what each of these values would be. So the SI unit for speed is going to be meter per second. You might also find answers in kilometers per hour. Very rarely in scientific problems would you find miles per hour, because remember, we don't use the empirical system. Your distance, if your units are meters per second, your distance units are also going to be meters, and then your time would be in seconds. So once again, this is going to go ahead and tell you what your distance and your time units are. If your rate or your speed would be kilometers per hour, then your distance unit would be kilometer and your time would be an hour. So I just want to walk you through each type of question you could have with this speed equation. So let's start with an easy one. Let's say that Fred is walking for 200 meters and it takes him 30 seconds. Okay, how fast is he going? So with each of these, you're going to have a speed, you're going to have a distance, you are going to have a time. Okay, so I said that Fred was walking 200 meters and it took him 30 seconds to travel that far. So we are going to be solving for our speed, so it's just a matter of substituting into our equation. So we don't know what our speed is, that's our unknown. Our distance is 200 meters, and it's important to carry your units through here. And then our time is 30 seconds. So if you don't have a calculator, go grab one in a non-disruptive fashion. So 200 divided by 30, that gives us an answer of 6.66 repeating, so I'm just going to round it to 6.7. But then we need to go ahead and look at what our units are. Our units are right here, meters divided by seconds. So this tells me that every second that Fred is moving, he's going to cover 6.7 meters. Okay? So that's the first type of question you could get where you need to go ahead and solve for speed. Easy, plug and play. Don't even need to do any rearranging of the equation. Now let's go ahead and solve for distance. All right, so we'll keep our speed, distance, time up there. Let's say that Fred, once again, because I'm lacking the creativity to find another name. Let's say that Fred is traveling at 3 meters per second. Let's say that he is traveling for 55 seconds. We want to know how far he goes. So once again, the first step is going ahead and substituting into the equation. So if our speed is 3 meters per second, we do not know what our distance is. We'll just plug in a D for that value. Our time is 55 seconds. So in order to solve for D, right now D is being divided by 55. So we would just simply go ahead and do the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply both sides by 55 seconds. 55 seconds. Cancel, cancel. So D is going to be equal to, well, 3 times 5 is 15 plus an extra 15. So 150 plus 15, you're going to get 165. Your units. Distance right here would be meters. Also, your seconds cancel there. Your seconds cancel there. So your correct answer would be 165 meters. Okay, so that one was a little bit more involved. We need to go ahead and manipulate the equation a little bit, but it was just a one-step process. So we've got one more. We've covered speed, we've covered distance. Now we're going to go ahead and solve for time. And this one has the most complex math to it. So let's go ahead and say that Jenny is another good name for a problem. Let's say that Jenny is traveling 400 meters. Let's say that Jenny is traveling at 7.1 meters per second. We want to know how long it's going to take her to travel that entire distance. So substitute in. So her speed is 7.1 meters per second. Distance is 400 meters. Now we got to go ahead and solve for time. So first step, we can't do anything with t when it's on the bottom, so we got to move it up. So right now it's being divided by the 400, so we'll do the opposite. We will multiply both sides by t. Cancel, cancel. I like to rewrite my equation, so I'm going to rewrite it as t times 7.1 meters per second equals 400 meters. Now your t is being multiplied by 7.1. So I'll simply go ahead, divide both sides by 7.1 meters per second, divide by 7.1 meters per second. These cancel. My meters cancel on both sides, so I'm going to be left with seconds for my units. And then 400 divided by 7.1. Going to get an answer of t is equal to 56.3 seconds. Excuse me on that one. So I walked you through solving for speed, distance, and time. These are just like your problems that you have for your assignment. There are some of these on your quiz as well. So make sure that if this does not make sense, you go through, you watch the video again. Make sure that if you have questions on your assignment, you refer back to this. Other than that, I hope this helped out.